And you will attend the kind of church, 1,000 members. How many of you want our church to be like sitting and gathering together in a 10,000 capacity church on Sundays?
I'll take that.
How about the rest of you? How many of you want it to be like this? Okay. Some of you want it to be 100 people like this all the time. What I'm saying is, I don't know what God's design is for our church. But what I'm saying is, if we are going to reach that number in that attendance and that membership, service ought to be a part of it. That's how a church would grow. And by the way, what's important is that, for example, God levels and somehow puts that cap to our church where He says, I want this church to be designed to be 500, because there are people who feel more comfortable with smaller church than 700,000. So I want this church to be 500 people only. What God is saying is, if we don't serve, that 500 will never be reached. And by the way, what about if we reach 500, Pastor? I said, we grow. Plant another church. Build another church out there. But one thing that happens to those people who are staying here is that our growth now is no more numerical, but our growth now is how deep you become and how intimate we become in our spiritual lives, and us looking more and more like Jesus Christ. Because that will never come to maturity until we see the Lord Jesus Christ. Is that enough, Pastor, 500? Well, numerically probably, but qualitatively? Do you think we could really grow to a point that we are completely transformed and conformed to the image of the Lord Jesus Christ? Not until we see Him. That's why growth will never be stunted. It will continue to grow. But what happens? How do we grow? Exactly through service. He said, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love. How much the church serves will be in direct proportion to how much the church grows. According to this, grows and builds itself up in love. How much the church serves will be in direct proportion to how much the church loves each other, and direct proportion to how much the church will love each other. Can you see how beautiful that is? The reason why we serve is because we love each other. The more we love, the more we serve, because there's no love without service. I can tell my wife I love her. If I don't serve her, she will say I'm lying. Girls, anybody courting you and they keep on telling you I love you, but they don't serve you, don't even believe it. Because love will entail service. But what's beautiful about this is a circular thing and effect that's happening. He said, when you really love someone, you really serve that person. But when you really serve that person, your love grows more. And when your love grows more, the more you serve. Isn't that beautiful? So love and service keeps growing. But you don't stop it in service. Oh, I love you. And then you don't serve. That's it for us. That's how far our love will grow. Okay? Now, grows and builds the church in love. So it means to build up the body. It benefits the whole body. What benefit? Grows and builds the church in love. But one thing that is needed again, it is not relegated to only a few people. According to this, as each part does its work. That means to say, growth will not happen if only few would work. The growth and the building up will happen if each one, can everybody say that again? If each one, and I want you to say this to yourself, that includes me. Say it louder. That includes me. Say it again. I need to serve.
I need to serve.
There you go. That's exactly what it's saying. Service is a call and a command to everyone. It's not for some, quote-unquote, elite few. Now look at your bodies, by the way. A part that does not work in your body causes your body to be sick and even die. A believer that does not serve faithfully and regularly is a spoiler and a virus in the church. I didn't say that. That's what you see there in the content. Are you here with me? So now you're thinking about yourself, am I serving? I don't want to be a virus. Okay, and by the way, don't call each other virus, okay? Bye virus, you're leaving so early. You just attend, sit on the pew, and go. That's the reason why I don't call, and pardon the word, you know what? I've changed it. I never call it service anymore. Because it's been traditional to call, for those of you who have grown in other persuasions, it's mass. Okay, now for us, grew up probably, some of you grew up in evangelical world, it's service. Sunday service. So what people do is, when they come to church and attend the service, they think they could go home and they've already served the Lord. That's the reason why I don't call this service anymore. I call it worship celebration. Sunday worship celebration. You see that? Now, this is no offense, and I'm not creating another dogma for you to condemn all those other churches that are calling it Sunday service. I'm just saying, in my perception of things, I would appropriately, for me, call it that. Because you have not really served the Lord. You serve Him a little, because it's encouraging to see you guys there on Sunday, by the way. It'll be discouraging a little bit if I preach only to me. So you're serving while you're here. At least an encouragement to the pastor and to other people as well. All right? Now, there's a quote that I'd like to read to you, and I believe it's also going to be shown right there to you by Earl Nightingale. What a beautiful name, Nightingale. If I become a citizen, I may take that as my last name. Adrian Nightingale. Mrs. Nightingale? Probably not. Okay. This is what he said. We will, everybody please read it together. We will receive not, now you can stop laughing, read it together. We will receive not what we idly wish for, but what we justly earn. Our rewards will always be in exact proportion to our service. So what do we wish FCF to be? What do you want to happen in FCF? What do you envision FCF to be? What do you envision your couples to be? What do you envision your life in your family to be? What do you envision your family to become, your businesses to become? And then you answer this, are you serving? Because it is in proportion to your service. Another quote, the general who advances without coveting fame and retreats without fearing disgrace, whose only thought is to protect his country and do good service for his sovereign or for his leader, is the jewel of his kingdom. For somebody named Sun Tzu, he's got to be important. You ask me, Pastor, those of you who probably rode with us in a van, I play Christmas music all the time now because it just gives me thrills. Different feeling Christmas. I want to enjoy it as much as I can. But what you notice in my Christmas songs is on my iPod, I've got Alvin and the Chipmunks. I also have Barlow Girls in my iPod. Now you ask yourself, Pastor, are you a fan of Alvin and the Chipmunks? Or are you a fan of Barlow Girls? Well, not really. That's the safest way to say it. But the reason why is because I know Julia likes to listen to Alvin and the Chipmunks. And because Aubrey likes Barlow Girls. So in essence, what I want to do is in my iPod, when I play it, I want it that when I'm playing this music, that I'm not the only one enjoying it, but my kids are as well enjoying the music I'm listening to. I'm not going to tell you that they all have earphones listening to their own iPods. But at least I'm trying to do my best. And this is something I'm doing. Not only am I allowing them to expand their horizon, that they would appreciate some oldies music as well, like Ray Conniff Christmas album. Okay? Man, those are things that I remember my dad bought for us, and I still enjoy those things. For me, one of the most amazing, one of the most special Christmas album there is Jackson 5 Christmas album. Yes. Okay, and I still enjoy those music. Had I not let my kids listen to that, they probably would not enjoy it now. They would not even know about it probably. But I don't know if they're starting to enjoy it. I don't know. But I know there's a special thing that I can share to them. But besides that, I've got Alvin and I've got Barlow. So in essence, I'm saying the reason I'm doing that is because I'm serving my family. And that's something that we ought to be doing. Now, let me share to you some points here regarding the things we've learned about service. Serving in any way doesn't make anyone any less. You don't have to take notes of all these things. I'm going to post this on the internet probably for them of you to share it in your Facebook so you got something sensible to share. Serving in any way doesn't make anyone any lesser. Jesus washing the feet of the disciples didn't make him any less than any of them. In fact, a leader is known as one because of the amount of service one can do, or one does. In reality, one who serves the most is the greatest of all. That's coming from the Lord Jesus Christ. Number two, A lot of words without works will yield a lot of ideas without reaching the ideals. Number 3, shame and service ought to never go together. Number 4, no one not serving, and this is a heavy one, no one not serving can truly claim as a follower of Jesus Christ. Ooh, everybody say that. Ooh. Let's say it louder. Ouch. Especially if you're not serving. Those of you who are not serving, say it louder. I'm just kidding. No one not serving can truly claim as follower of Christ. Because he served and he said, do what I'm doing. Number 5, the greatest temptations can easily be overcome when one is preoccupied not with serving his appetites. A lot of us are still struggling with temptations. But we'll be able to overcome it much better and more effectively, okay, if we're not preoccupied with serving those appetites, but serving other people's needs. Temptation is only powerful when we pay attention to it. Paying attention to others' need is the best way to get our minds off temptations. Number 6, the entire body grows when each one serves each other. In effect, our service of others is service to one's self too, minus selfishness. And even if this is a given, the greatest service is still one that thinks of the greater whole without regard to the greatness of self, although self will benefit. Number 7, service is our privileged responsibility for the honor of being a part of the relationship. Is it an honor for you to be a part of your family? It is an honor for you to be a part of the church, this church. It is an honor for me to be married to my wife. Yes, it is. Because all of these are honor to me. It's my privilege to serve. That's a part of it. Number 8, as Christians, we are serving the greatest cause and entity. Never be satisfied until you know you've given your best and maximum efforts to it. Then maybe it's time to move on to another area of service where again we can grow, give our best and maximum efforts to. Your efforts are not going to waste. So do not resign from your position or do not stop serving just because nothing's happening if we have not given our maximum to it. Let's not say, I want to give way for other people. Have you done your best in this? Because if you've not done it, you probably are still the man for the job. Okay? Next, number 9. If service is like planting a seed, we can always expect it to yield a harvest. But in fact, Henry Ford said, a business absolutely devoted, listen to this carefully, a business absolutely devoted to service will have only one worry about profits. They will be